is one of the largest operating ports in the country, handling $180 billion of trade annually and employing more than 300,000 people in the Southern California area alone. The Port of Long Beach is the nation's primary trade point for goods bound for and coming in from China, Southeast Asia, and other points west. Joining us right now is the Port of Long Beach CEO, John Slangerup. John, good to see you.
Good to be here with
First,
you.
Characterize what you're seeing. Trade is such a good indicator of how the economy is doing, and we're talking so much about the global economy slowdown.
Well, we're seeing we're going to see about 5% growth this year. We had about 5.5% last year. It's very strong, continues to be strong, and it's really in volume. I mean, the actual value of goods is declining because it's so inexpensive now. So it's good for the American consumer, and everything's on sale.
Even with the China slowdown?
China slowed down. Everything that you see, and it's very slight, 3%. What we're actually seeing is a tremendous pickup in Southeast Asia, double-digit growth throughout the region.
Southeast Asia, like Vietnam?
Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, even South Korea. If you go north, it's amazing.
Wow.
What's driving that in terms of industries, products? What's really the big drivers there?
A big part of it is the shifting manufacturing centers. As China, sort of levels out, and as we've seen it throughout the history of Asia, it continues to move. So manufacturing is moving, and we, of course, follow that very carefully. But Southeast Asia is coming on very, very strong.
Many of the people who are out supporting, say, Donald Trump, for example, feel like trade has not helped them. It hasn't helped them at all. They've lost jobs. They don't see the benefits of it. What do you say to them?
Well, the facts are that trade drives jobs and high-paying jobs. When we look at our port, for example, we directly impact about 320,000 jobs on a regional basis, about 1.4 million jobs on a national basis, and those are high-paying jobs, many of them union jobs. So it kind of debunks the myth that there's a job issue with trade, because it drives jobs throughout the country.
So what's your reaction to all this upset over trade and free trade versus fair trade?
Well, I think free trade it's all about competitiveness. And the United States has always done very, very well on the trade side. What we're struggling with is the relatively high value of the dollar is making our exports struggle. So that is a challenge, because the rest of the world's economies are struggling right now. And while it makes everything inexpensive for importing, it makes it difficult to sell our goods abroad.
Putting the business aside, what about national security? Do you worry that, our situation today is actually a negative for national security?
Well, I think, the ports, given the economic impact of the ports on the nation, we are very, very focused on security. We have the most advanced security apparatus in the world, and we have to get it right every day. Bad guys have to be right one time. We have to be right every day. And so I think that from a security standpoint, most of what we fear coming through the ports is in fact monitored very carefully. We have such a terrific interagency structure. We have all of Homeland Security, the Coast Guard, all of the typical local authorities are all in a team together, and we monitor everything very carefully and continually.
I think the trade story has become really front and center, and such a hot-button issue in this election. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me, but the struggle with elections is that people are always looking for some reason to be angry or focus on something. Facts speak for themselves. Trade is growing. Trade drives jobs. Trade is, in fact, what this nation's about. And the fact of the matter is we have to do everything we can to stimulate it abroad. Relationships with all of our trading partners are key, and we really have to remain focused, as we are in our port operations, very focused on a global basis.
Yeah.
It's all about relationships.
It sure is. John, great to have you on the program.
Good to be here.
Thanks so much. John Slangerup there. Thank you.